This is always such a fun segment I look forward to. So it's time to get into a bit of brand chatter with Tony Chapman, the host of Chatter That Matters podcast. We're going to look back at some of the big brand stories of the week. Hi, Tony. Nice to see you.
I love being here on a Friday morning. What a great way to sort of end the week.
Yes. All right, Tony, here's an interesting situation here. So south of the border, Elon Musk, we know he's on a roll with Tesla right now. Their numbers quarterly up. The stock went up about 10 or 11% yesterday. But he's also really lined up behind Donald Trump here. And some people are asking about, he's offering $1 million to voters. A lot of people questioning his sort of affiliation with Donald Trump here. The potential impact that could have on his businesses, SpaceX, Tesla, you name it. Elon Trump's got a stamp on some pretty big businesses. How do you sort of look at this from a branding and risk perspective, I suppose?
I think there's two sides to Elon Musk. I mean, the same week we see him landing a rocket, recycling a rocket on a saucer, launching a robot and saying, this guy is the future. And then he's jumping on Trump's stage almost like Tom Cruise jumped on Oprah's couch. Right. And he's fully in, and you're going, of course it's going to impact his business, because in the States, you were either a Republican or a Democrat. He is all in. 3.3 million impressions, 3.3 billion impressions he's had, alleging that voter boxes are going to be fake. Yeah. So he's already planted the seed. If Trump gets in the office, he's planted the seed that the election is a fraud. I mean, you can't be in a position like this. He's put $75 million of his own money against a super PAC endorsing Trump. But the worst thing that I've ever heard in terms of the wealth for the wealthy versus for the people, $1 million a day he's putting out there if you register as a voter as a Republican, knocking on doors, completely taking the rules of democracy, what's supposed to be a fair contest, and tilting in the favor of Musk and the rich. And then add to that Twitter, now X, which was supposed to be this neutral site, and he's completely turning it into conspiracy theories and everything. So my problem, whether you like Trump or not, I'm not here to endorse either one of them. He could tilt the election. He's that much of an attention grabber. And I question, is that where democracy has gone now? If you've got a big check, you can influence voters.
That's the thing. Does it even matter to Elon Musk? I mean, he's one of the richest men in the world, hundreds of billions of dollars. He's a billionaire multiple times over here. And okay, Twitter is, let's leave that aside, because social media, there's lots of social media. But when it comes to SpaceX, no one else is catching rockets. When it comes to some of his other platforms, no one else is doing it. Like sure, people are making electric cars, but Tesla's kind of the forerunner here. So when you've got these sort of exclusive or kind of monopolies on things, how can it really impact? Because people are still going to turn to you to bring astronauts back from the space station type thing.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great question, because as your brand, when you have a lead singer like Musk, that is your brand. Yeah. I would say, who's the lead singer of GM? I don't know. It's a brand. But with Musk, SpaceX, Tesla, it's all him. Know him. And that's the thing that the shareholders have got to be saying, listen, you can't step in front of this election and turn this into your stage and grab the microphone and be, Donald Trump's, backup singer, because it's going to impact our investment. And it's not just Musk that owns these companies. They're pensioners. So it's a serious issue, and I think it's a stain on democracy, especially when you can plant seeds of the way the elections run is going to be fake in the event that Trump loses. If it wins, you'll never hear anything about those voter votes. I just think that's tilting the playing field the wrong way, and it's absolutely not the spirit of democracy.
Yeah, it's just going to be heated, I think, in the next couple of weeks.
Well, it's going to be like a civil war has already been fought with ballots. The question is he creating enough fuel in the fire that it suddenly goes from ballots to bullets? And that's the thing we got to be concerned about with the states, is this incredible divide, and he is the one pushing those things apart.
Moving on to McDonald's, big story we're following, obviously, looking at this E.Coli poisoning involving onions south of the border. So we've been told it doesn't affect McDonald's here in Canada, but I'm curious from a branding perspective, what kind of impact there could be. Will this make people hesitate?
Oh, without question. I mean, you saw it happen with Jack in the Box, Chipotle's. I mean, these are major franchises, and this is the trouble with the food industry. We think our food is secure, McDonald's is secure, but you got to go back to those farms and these massive factories that are now producing this stuff. Is the quality control that used to be there when farmers were actually had their hands on the food that we're eating? And the problem with McDonald's is that, it's a farm. They've isolated it to California, E. coli breakout. But we don't think of that. We go, am I going to get sick, or worse, am I going to die eating a Big Mac? And that's what we frame in our mind. And once that's in our mind, you underpin the entire equity that McDonald's has built. And it can sometimes take years to recover. Or I would argue with some brands, you never recover. Now, McDonald's almost too big to fail, but I promise you're going to see the results in their earnings in the next quarter. That people are going to go, I'm still going to go to affordable fast food, but I'm now going to widen my choice. So the other burger chains, as long as they're safe, are going to put their hand up and say, hey, welcome to the Five Guys and burgers and In-N-Out out and all the other opportunities you have in the States.
Yep, interesting impact. Tony, we always appreciate these conversations. We'll look forward to doing it all over again next week. Have a great week.
You too.
Take
Thank
care.
you very much, and always
Have
a
great
pleasure.
weekend.
Yeah,
Thanks,
absolutely.
Tony.
And we are back with more CB24 Breakfast coming up right after this quick break.